I am so tired of trying to do this video without any editing that I'm going to go crazy. And there's a fly that I'm going to shoot real soon as soon as I take this apart and put it back together. Hey, what's up guys? It's Jacob here from Gunday, Funday. Just wanted to put up a short little video on how to properly field strip a 1911 .45 caliber handgun. So there's a lot of videos on YouTube about doing this. I just wanted to put one up to explain kind of some tricks to make it maybe a little bit easier, and also label the parts that are going to be coming out of this weapon that you eventually have to put back in. So to start things off though, we always have to remember to drop the clip, check the chamber, and put it on safe. Okay, so this is a Springfield 1911. To start the field stripping process on this particular weapon, we have to take out this screw. This screw is attached to this spring guide inside the weapon. So I know what you're thinking. You're saying, man, he's going to take that off and this thing's going to just spring out and stuff's going to go everywhere. That's not really the case though. This just, like I said, this just attaches to the spring guide. When you're tearing this apart, you have to push down with one finger on the plug and you have to turn the barrel bushing. So when you push down, you turn the barrel bushing, then this wants to spring out. This is where you have to be careful. You have to hold it tight. Then you take the plug off, you go ahead and you pull your spring. Now we can take off the slide. So in order to take off the slide, you actually have to take this gun off of safety. So flip that down. Then you have two little notches here on the side of a 1911. Okay, you're going to slide the slide back until you get this little tiny notch above your slide stop. So let's do that now. Go ahead and slide this guy back until it's right there in the middle. Now, and when we turn the gun around, you have a little pin here. This pin is just the opposite side of the slide stop. You're going to push this in, and as you can tell now, the slide stop has a gap. You just grab this and you're going to pull it out. When you pull that out, you can now slide the slide right off the front of the gun, and it's pretty much apart. The only thing is you have to be really careful when you're sliding it off that you don't drop your spring guide and lose it. So I always hold my hand in the front, slide it off until that guide, spring guide, comes out in my hand. Then I set it down, go ahead and pull the slide out, and we're almost done. Now to get the barrel out, you have to slide this barrel link forward so it's pointing to the front of the barrel. Then you have to take the barrel bushing and you have to turn it counterclockwise and slide it out. This has a little tiny notch on it. That's how you get it out, is by aligning this notch with the notch on the slide so it'll slide out. Set that down. Go ahead and tilt your slide forward. Make sure that your barrel link is forward. And all you do is give this a nice little push with your thumb and the barrel comes out. We are completely apart. Have all our parts laid out here. Now, we're going to put it back together. So in order to put this back together, there's kind of some tricks that make it a little bit easier. So first off, we're going to put our barrel back in. Make sure that your barrel link is pointed forward. Go ahead and insert it into the front of the slide. Give it a nice little push, and it should slide in piece of cake. Next, we cannot forget our barrel bushing. Go ahead and put this in, turn it clockwise, and it'll be sitting off to the side like this. Next on the agenda is to set up our spring. You put the painted side of the spring onto the spring guide. And if you turn it as you're putting it on, it makes it a little bit easier. Now, Spring guide has two little notches on one side and it's rounded on the bottom. Those two little notches sit down on top of the barrel. Okay, so when we put this into our slide and onto our barrel, we have to make sure that those two little notches are down. Okay. Now what we have to do is attach the gun to the slide. So I hold mine upside down, and all I do is slide this on. Okay. Once it's slid on, you can flip your gun back, and you are almost ready to put it all back together. So what you have to do is you have to line up your barrel and your barrel link so that you can put this slide stop in. So you start that, and then what you want to do is you want to get your little tiny notch on the slide lined up with this square. Then you're going to push this pin up and in at the same time, and everything should fall into place. Perfect. Now, here's how to test to see if you have everything installed correctly. You're going to push your slide forward. If your slide stops where it's supposed to stop, you're good. If it keeps going, you actually missed this pin going into your barrel link. It has to go through your barrel link. If it doesn't go through, the slide will slide all the way forward and it'll fall off. So let's try it. It stopped. We're good to go. Now, to prevent it from sliding back and losing all your stuff, go ahead and put it on safety. Then your slide will not move anywhere. Everything inside's good to go. We just have to put the front back together. So what I do at this point is I flip it back upright. I take my plug, I put it on top of my spring, and I push down. Now, when you're pushing down, be very careful because you can lose it and it'll shoot up, and it's probably got enough power it'll stick into the ceiling or just disappear if you're out in the field. So hold it with both hands, push it down on there, and then turn your barrel bushing counterclockwise until it slides over the plug. It should look like that, but we're not finished. We have to continue turning this until it pops into place. Once it pops into place, we're good to go. Now all we have left with this particular weapon is to put this screw back in that attaches to our spring guide. Once I get this tight, I'm going to cycle it a couple times, make sure it works right, and we will be ready to go. So right now, the weapon's on safe. So I'm going to take it off safe, and I'm going to pull it back a few times to make sure that it's cycling properly. Okay? Feels good. I can even pull the trigger. I can test it again, pull the trigger, and everything works right. That is how you properly field strip a 1911 .45 caliber handgun. And as always, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.